Hello, my name is Hassan Sorrells, and this is the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast shorts. There's no co-host on these shorts episodes. These are now around 2 to 4 minute, sometimes as long as 6 to 10 minute observations, ideas, thoughts, or rants about the literature, philosophy, psychology, and even the theology of leadership. Because listening to me talk about leadership for now around 2 to 4 minutes is still better than reading and trying to understand yet another business book. Even that business book your coworker won't stop raving about because it quote-unquote changed their life, but you can't see any difference in their leadership behavior. So how good could that author be? When reading or even watching science fiction, even high science fiction such as that written by Philip K. Dick and Isaac Asimov, or even an author like Ray Bradbury, the thing that jumps out to the careful reader or watcher is the sense of anxiety embedded deeply in the narrative about the future. Except it's anxiety based on the public and private fears surrounding the writer present in the time he is living and writing in. Every writer records their fears and uses the fears of the era they are in as fodder to write about, but science fiction writers project those fears forward and leverage fantastical circumstances to take the reader out of the immediate now. What can leaders learn from this tactic? Well, one of the first things to realize is that the circumstances surrounding a team or an individual on the team are exactly that, circumstances. They can morph, change, and mold to the times they are in. Very few circumstances transcend the moment, the current moment, in which they are occurring. The second thing to realize is that while there are circumstances that can transcend the current malaise, most of the future is, at best, an educated guess, and at worst, an ignorant forecast. Sure, past results may predict future outcomes when investing in financial products or even gambling at a casino. But in the dynamic real world in which leaders really lead, there is little benefit in projecting the outcomes of negative or even positive circumstances or events into an unknown and unknowable future. Leaders lead in the now. They set a vision for the future, plan for contingencies, and they map the environment they are in with wisdom and forethought. They not only hope for a better world, they actively plan on how to get there, no matter what fantastical gee whiz technology or its adherents or inventors may do or say. And well, that's it for me. Thank you for listening to the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast today. And now that you've made it this far, you should subscribe to the audio version of this show on all the major podcast players, including Apple iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, and everywhere else where podcasts are available. There's also a video version of our podcast on our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe to the video version of this podcast on the Leadership Toolbox channel on YouTube. Just search for Leadership Toolbox and hit the subscribe button there on YouTube. And while you're doing that, leave a 5-star review if you like what we're doing here on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Just go below the player and hit 5 stars. We need those reviews to grow, and it's the easiest way to help grow this show. And tell all your friends, of course, in leadership. By the way, if you don't like what we're doing here, well, you can always listen to another leadership show. There are several other good ones out there. At least that's what I've heard. All right. Well, that's it for me.